What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel for another weekly stock watch list. All everybody had a killer week. Last week was interesting. We had a lot of great plays Monday, Friday, especially Friday. We went crazy on Friday. So if you're in the chat room, middle of the week was a little rough. The market was a little choppy, but we picked that towards the end of the week. And you can understand that sometimes not every day is gonna be easy. Not every day you're gonna have those clear-cut directions. You gotta be quick with your scalp, taking profits, and make sure you stop out in the green. So don't just think that the stock market is easy because you do well a couple other days. It can easily turn red or be choppy. So you gotta be prepared for all situations. But I'm here for another weekly stock watch list to get you guys ready for next week. If you like more videos like this, if you like to learn more about stock market, make sure you check out our day trading course. You won't regret it. It comes with 6 months of premium chat room, so you get to day trade with myself and the rest of our head traders over small players. And we promise you, if you put in the work, you put in the time, you will do really well. But let's get straight into the weekly stock watch list. So that's what you guys are here for, and it's what you care about. So we're my favorite day trading website. If you like to chart, on the weekends, this is the website I use, completely free. There's some little options you can to upgrade, but a trading view, highly recommend. If you're trying into day trading, learning technical analysis, trading view is the way to go. So the first stock I would like to talk about is ticker symbol QCOM, Qualcomm Incorporated. A company that's actually very local to where I grew up, near southern San Diego. And let's talk about it. So, trying to push this, first thing you see when you're zooming out is you see over here, this pretty much like a double top that's making here from this November way back to around this January, that this all-time high level. So 168.21, over here with a little tiny break here, 169.37 to break that all-time high level, but pretty much double topping over here. But now, what do I see here? Kind of a similar setup as we saw here, but we never got a breakout through. But if we zoom in, we're making these higher lows into pretty much the ascending triangle setup over here. And we do have earnings coming up over here on, when is the earnings? 2nd of February. We just had earnings. The good earnings, surprise 12% beat. Revenue 5% beat. Pretty good earnings, and that caused this big gap up over here. Has continuation, double topped over here from the previous all-time high level, and now pushing down, holding up this support here. So what I want to see from here, it would be a play that will break that all-time high level. So if you go to my path tool over here, maybe push one more time down here, and then break through, come back to retest the all-time high level, and then keep going up. So there's a couple plays here, can pick it up off the support, can wait for the breakout. Pushing higher, can't wait for the retest. There's a couple plays here to be had with QCOM, and definitely something I'll be looking at. Now, if we follow the pattern, another thing that could happen, we could follow the pattern here and go all the way back over here to fill this gap down, because we do have a pretty massive gap down, but it's looking pretty strong to me, if I'm being honest with you guys. So we gotta wait for confirmation to either go, to take advantage of one of the two plays, but there is this gap here on the downside that we saw from earnings. But how it's looking has this high and tight look that we see quite often when the stocks start grinding up, trying to break the all-time high level. So now I would like to also check out flow algo. If we see any flow, you guys really like when I use this tool. So here we're on flow algo. We see SPY, just so much positive flow on SPY, LWM, SPY, SQQ, SPY. First of all, we see that, but let's look up QCOM. So what do we see with QCOM? We have a lot of expirations of 11.19 next week. Actually, 180, 99, 80,000, about $300,000 worth of 172.5, 170, 165 calls. So we do see some flow of this trying to break the all-time high level. So QCOM will be high on my watch list for next week, and this is a ticker that pays pretty well. Next up, what I'm talking about is cheaper ticker, Tattooed Chef, TTCF. TTCF, what do we see in TTCF? First of all, we're sitting pretty on this strong support level, which is the $16 support level. As you guys can see, is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and this 7 button here. We kind of went a little under, but so it's always bouncing on the $16 level. That's when the buyers come in. We saw here it bounced, closed right about that $16 level. Now it does have earnings coming up. It has the earnings coming up on the 1st of December. So in about a couple weeks time here, which I would like to see maybe potentially a run up, something very similar. We saw here in the earnings caused this run up here. Earnings here caused a run up here. earnings here caused a little run up into sell off, up to the a little run up a little bit and then into sell off. So I would like to see here that it bounced on the $16 level, and a run up leading into earnings and maybe falling off after. But TTCF is actually a company that I do like also on the longer term. Pretty good level, the 16 level support to pick up some of it. So another stock that I'm gonna be adding to my watch list, looking for the bounce, looking for that ER run up. So you always, if you want to hold it through the earnings report, just be aware it's a high gamble. You don't want to hold usually things through the earnings report, but we'll definitely want to see if we can pick up this run up to the earnings. And even maybe play after the earnings will definitely be. So let's go back to flow algo. Does TTCF have anything? No, it doesn't have anything. I don't even really think so. A lot of times these cheaper stocks might not have anything to nothing too crazy when it comes on to the flow algo stuff. Next up is I want to talk about SNDL, sundial growers. Another wheat stock, and we actually want to talk about the whole weed ETF a little bit later. Talk about how it's kind of breaking out. It could be good for the whole weed industry and all that. So Sundial had some news on Friday where we saw this push up right here, just sitting right under that strong resistance, which is that $1 level. $1 level is of course one of those levels that it's a mental level, right? Because $1 is like, stock is $1, stock is under $1. It's always gonna be one of those mental levels. Got rejected pretty much around that $1, and we also see here as it's setting up on this descending resistance here, got rejected right under. So what I would like to see from this is actually a breakout above this resistance, pretty much setting up this triangle. If you go to horizontal line, this is pretty much the bottom of it, that 0.62, 0.63 level right here, sitting, holding that support, bouncing it about 3 times here. It's kind of like just hung out under, and then boom, push right above it. The Republicans are putting for a legalization bill, which could be a good catalyst for momentum going to Sundials. I guess I like to see Sundial when it gains momentum, you can see it really spike. I would also like to add as an indicator to our little volume. As you guys can see, big massive volume, right? We see this big massive volume, massive run, big volume. Runs, big volume leading up, runs, right? So we see this big volume. As we see this big volume right here, we gotta keep an eye on it. A breakout above this could definitely lead it to 150 will be my next price target, and then 175, and then potentially $2. So pretty much the whole weed again, being on the watch list for next week, as we're seeing this Republican infrastructure. Not infrastructure, but this Republican trying to pass this, legalization bill. Let's see, SNDL has anything going on? It doesn't seem to have much going on. But I don't want to just talk about SNDL. I would also like to talk about a different cannabis ETF. That one being MSOS. Trust as pure cannabis ETF. Just recently broke out, and I'd like to point out the massive volume that's been having, right? We're talking about volume, average volume, just being around this level over here. This has been just massive amount of volume. So just broke out of this pretty much macro downtrend it's been on, kind of getting the support in this major consolidation zone here, and just broke out of it. So I would love to see a retest of this breakout. If you can see a retest of this breakout. He did get rejected at an important resistance level, as you guys can see right about here. A little bit below that. 1 second. Right around that 32 and 25, which we see being rejected here once. Twice it broke through. Was the support a little bit, resistance a little bit, getting rejected. So I would love to see maybe to fill this very little gap that you see here, going back to 30 and a half, getting that bounce and continuing up as we have this Republican legalization bill, which could pass, could be a strong catalyst for the weed sector. Let's go to some of my favorite, the crypto stocks. RIOT. Talking about RIOT, I think a few times on this channel. If you've been missing out, we just recently had, we had this resistance break here. Got rejected here on 3418, but I think next week will be a nice strong week for Riot. Riot more than Mara or Hut has a lot of potential, as it has been trading still less than it was trading before. With crypto, Riot is lagging much behind. Then if we go back to Mara, Mara just completely broke all-time high levels over here. So this is, I'm not saying it has no potential, but it definitely has less risk to reward. If we go back to Riot, Riot's still trading much less. They have 15th November, they do have earnings. So they do have earnings 15th November, keep that in mind, but I think Riot right now has much higher risk to reward than Mara. So I'm looking for a breakout with this 44.16 resistance that we see here. Next resistance will be around the 61 level. And just Mara broke its all-time high, almost hitting 100. Riot can definitely do the same, so keep an eye on Riot coming up next week. Now, I'm really out of here, guys. If you like more videos like this, to learn more about the stock market, make sure you subscribe. We're so close to 5,000 followers or subscribers on YouTube. So make sure you subscribe, and as always, I'm out.